Who is a 10 and why? The answers may be darker than you think.
Ask everyone to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. So let's do that.
10.
10.
10.
10.
Were you a 10 last time?
Yeah, I was a 10 last
Okay.
time.
Billy Ray.
I feel like I'm a 6.7.
Dude, why the would you ever say something like that?
Physically or what's really going on here? Why do they say 10 when they know other people don't agree?
요즘 여자들은 주제파악이나 자기객관화를 못하고 망상에 빠져 연애나 결혼에서 어려움을 겪는 경우가 많습니다. 이러한 현상이 일어나는 근본적 이유가 SNS로 인해 여자들의 자아가 비대해졌기 때문으로 보는 사람이 많지만 미국 유튜버 호메스는 이보다 더 근본적인 원인이 여자들의 게임 전략이라고 봅니다.
I can think of 4 reasons. I'll do the easy ones first. The last one will take some time to get into. I'm going to show you psychological research, new communication skills, and how to recognize struggles for status and power. So, what's up with this whole I'm a 10 thing anyway? Sometimes they say confidence is attractive. What does that mean? This is a really common argument. It seems to mean that if one girl says, I'm awesome, and another girl says, I'm only kind of awesome, that men will like the first one more. Let's try that out for ourselves. Listen again and see who you like more.
Kikyo, so, okay, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
10.
10.
10.
I feel like I'm a 6.7.
So I don't know about you, but this didn't do much for me. I didn't feel anything positive about the 3 that said 10. In fact, I thought it was a red flag. But when she said 6.7, I went, oh, she's actually reasonable. Maybe she would be fun to talk to. Maybe this actually worked for you, I don't know, but it's not a great strategy, is it? That can't explain its popularity.
다른 분들 의견은 모르겠지만 적어도 제가 봤을 때는 자기 입으로 자기가 10점 만점이라고 말하는 사람에 제가 호감을 느끼기는 어려울 것 같습니다. 특히나 저는 남자이기 때문에 여자가 그런 모습을 보여준다면 그건 자신감이라기보다는 나르시스트 같아요.
What about delusion? Social media gives women a lot of access to attention, and it changes how they feel about themselves and how they feel about other people in real life. But they can't all believe they're here. That's not how math works. So what if they're saying it, but they don't believe it? Fake it till you make it applies to more than just the job market. A strategy that some women use is to pursue a high-value man and allow him to keep her in this area on the off chance that she might make it here one day. Although the chances of that are pretty low.
여기서 들여다보아야 할 점이 남자가 여자를 판단하는 관점과 여자가 남자를 판단하는 관점은 각기 다르다는 점입니다. 호메스에 따르면 남자는 여자를 크게 3부류로 분류한다고 봅니다. 찐사랑, 엔조이 상대, 그리고 그 밖의 존재감 0인 여자들, 이렇게 3 카테고리로요. 한편 여자들이 남자를 판단하는 기준은 상당히 복잡합니다. 이것은 오늘의 주제에서 다소 벗어나 있어 오늘 다루진 않겠지만 많은 분들이 요청해 주시면 영상을 만들어 보도록 하겠습니다. 아무튼 여자들은 자신보다 더 나은 위치의 남자들과 어떻게든 연결되기 위해 노력하고 찐사랑의 위치에 들어가려 한다는 거죠. 하지만 그런 영광을 누리는 여자들은 생각보다 많지 않죠. 호메스의 지적이 정말 놀랍게도 한국의 연애 혹은 결혼 시장에도 적용되는 것 같습니다. 자신의 눈을 낮추는 건 죽어도 포기를 못하는 게 요즘 여자들이니까요. 그런데 호메스는 이에 더해 여자들이 모두가 10점 만점이라고 말할 수밖에 없는 집단적 이유가 있다고 봅니다.
Sometimes I'm a 10 is probably just the same old strategy, but I see something else going on here. I think everyone is a 10 is sometimes a tactic for hiding or reducing hidden conflicts. This is my newest chart. It's called Who is a 10? Status Games, and it's about how men and women seek status differently. I'm going to go over the research behind it, but first I'm going to show you the different parts of the chart. First of all, these illustrations are how men and women compete for social status. Men compete openly through direct competition and open contests, and women play nice and engage in self-protective behavior. They value the appearance of equality while keeping their conflicts quiet.
쇼펜하워라는 철학자도 비슷한 말을 했던 것 같은데 남자는 주로 공개된 경쟁 형태를 통해 사회적 지위를 추구한다면 여자는 남자와 달리 미묘한 방식으로 권력을 추구한다고요. 겉으로 보기에는 전혀 안 그런 것처럼 가식을 떨지만 실제로는 여자 역시 욕망에 있어서는 남자와 별반 다르지 않다는 거죠. 그러다 보니 남자가 봤을 때 여자가 사회적 지위를 추구하는 방식은 생경하기 그지없습니다. 호메스는 여자들이 겉으로는 협력하는 것처럼 보이지만 사실 이것은 각자의 이득을 위해 서로를 이용하고 조작하는 거대한 게임으로 설명합니다.
These speech bubbles and arrows are examples of things that men and women might do to increase their own status or to decrease the status of somebody else. These 1 to 10 scales are status, not attraction. They are related, but they're not the same thing. These columns on the side are examples of things that men might do to increase their own status, and these are things that women might do to increase theirs. Finally, at the bottom, I have a key for what the different types of tactics are. So, what is status and why does it matter? Well, status is basically the way that other people perceive you and treat you. Over here, I have the typical money guy clutching his money. He's at the top of the male hierarchy, and over here I have the celebrity in her Golden Globes dress. Those are people who have a lot of access to attention and support and money, and people do things for them. So that's why status matters. It makes life easier the higher you go, and it makes you more likely to survive, and it makes you more likely to have children who also survive. And this whole chart, which is based on the whole everyone is a 10 phenomenon, is about the differences between the way men do that and the way women do that. And one of the ways that women do that, in my opinion, is to just say everyone is beautiful, everyone is a perfect 10, and everyone is equally valuable in order to hide the ways that they jockey for status, whereas men just do it right out in the open. Let's get into the research. In a 2013 paper of this long name from Harvard, it says, from early childhood onwards, girls compete using strategies that minimize the risk of retaliation and reduce the strength of other girls. Girls' competitive strategies include avoiding direct interference with another girl's goals, disguising competition, competing overtly only from a position of high status in the community, enforcing equality within the female community, and socially excluding other girls. The writer continues that from an early age, women clearly dislike group hierarchies, while boys and men are okay with competing directly, and girls and women prefer to interact with same-sex individuals of similar status. This doesn't mean that girls and women don't care about status. For both sexes, high status increases the probability that one lives longer, and so do one's children. The result of these two somewhat conflicting motives is that girls and women seek high status, but disguise this quest by avoiding direct contests. So what does that look like in practice? Well, first of all, I put green and always here because mid and low women they're just always 10s. They're always perfect and beautiful because if you want to hide your status games, you can never actually tell anybody that they're lower down on the hierarchy, except for women who are actually high up on the hierarchy, and then they are only 10s when they are cooperating, which is why they use this cooperation strategy. You might have a really gorgeous, famous woman or woman who is locally high status saying everyone is beautiful and perfect and we're all equal because she knows she has to say that in order to not be excluded by the armies of everyone else who are gonna demand equality.
그러니까 여자들의 계층에서 최상위에 속하는 여자들도 여자들의 세상에서 살아남으려면 모두가 평등하다는 이 말도 안 되는 소리를 해야 된다는 거네요. 저는 이게 페미니즘이 유지될 수 있는 원동력이 되는 것 같아요. 페미니즘을 통해서 제일 이득을 보는 게 3년 6점짜리 여자들이잖아요. 물론 그 사람들 역시 결혼을 못해서 외롭게 산다 뭐 이런 말들도 많지만 결혼에 실패해도 어찌됐건 페미 사업을 통해 지원금은 꼬박꼬박 받을 거 아니에요. 그리고 이제 여러분들이 다 알다시피 제일 피해를 보는 게 7점짜리 여자들이겠죠. 완전 상위 계층은 아니지만 중하위 계층도 아닌 어느 시대에서나 애매한 위치에 속해 있으면 피해가 막심한 것 같아요.
That's the game that they play. Here I have an upper mid-level woman saying, you're a 10, to a lower level woman, and what that means is, stay acting stupid. That I colored turquoise here for sabotage, and what that basically means is, you should continue acting like you are higher up in status or attractiveness, because if you do, then you're never going to find what you need from the social scene and from men, and then I will have more free male energy to draw simping from. Here in reverse, we have a low status female saying, you are a 10 from low to high, and what that means is, yeah, I know you're above me, but you're a 10, so I'm almost a 10. Everyone can tell. That's the trick that's going on here. Everyone can tell where they are. We look at them and we go, how can you say you're all equal when it's so obvious that you're not? And we can tell who's up here by looking. Well, they know too. So one of the secret strategies here is if I play the game for you, then you'll include me. I rounded out the female side with good plain old delusion. She thinks she's gonna marry a athlete and she's not. I also have one of the more direct forms of female status competition. This is the my boyfriend will beat you up. This guy is being a jerk to her and she makes a threat in the way that men might get directly in fights. She's saying, I am protected. I'm protected by the boyfriend who is coming, and that is a more direct threat, but still not the kind of directness that men engage in. Men, being direct as they are, tend to just, whatever level they come from, they tend to just kind of point out when a woman is way up high. They'll just go, that girl is a 10. But those are patriarchal beauty standards because they violate this appearance of equality on the outside. Right here, I have the two of them exchanging nasty words for each other. That is an attempt to lower status as well. It happens across from men to women and from women to women and from men to men. I also have this girl saying the typical, you're gonna make someone so happy to this guy, which is, it's another way that women use this kind of appearance of everything nice on the surface when what she really means is, you're not what I'm looking for. Oh, and of course, we have the accusation. Whether or not they're true, those can cause a lot of damage to men's lives. I've seen that happen. A few years ago, we had that whole thing where they said you were not even allowed to ask about them. And again, these are just examples to help you understand the overall strategy, which is to keep your real feelings and intentions quiet and play nice out in the open. Men have a hard time understanding this because men will just say things like this out in the open. This guy's trying to be as cool as he can and not managing. This is something that somebody actually said to me once. I did not see him talk to a woman the whole night, but he was really trying to tell me, yeah, women, I make them work for my attention, but none of them were trying. So I made that a combination of self-inflation and tearing down women and delusion, like no one's listening to you, buddy. Then this guy right here is doing the fragile ego thing. The she's not that hot, bro. This is that from the standard female delusion chart. So he's trying to make himself look cooler than he is, which sometimes works. Another thing I see from time to time is a guy who does not work out will find a guy who does and say, well, you must be a bad person. If you spend all your time in the gym, you must not be smart or something. That's the typical example of tearing down right out in the open. And here's a guy stating, I'm powerful, I know powerful people. If we get into some kind of a conflict, the cops are gonna be mad at you and not me. That would be a self-inflation. And then, of course, we have the top guy bragging about how I have all this status because I'm so awesome and you don't because you're not. So as you can see, men focus pretty directly on who is higher and who is lower, and they just have open contests out in the open. And they're not very conscious of this game that women play of keeping their problems with each other quiet. So I'm a 10, you're a 10, we're all 10s. It can mean many different things depending on the context. It could mean this is my friend, she's with me. It could mean everybody knows you don't have any pull around here. It could mean I can't believe I have to deal with these people. It does not always just mean I'm deluded because I have too many matches on my phone. So one of the things that I'm trying to show, the main thing I'm trying to show with this chart is that when you hear things that are not true being said by a group of people, usually starts with women, but men cooperate sometimes. When you hear them say something like that, it's like, well, this is not reality. Men will often say, that isn't true, and they'll be logical about it. But that's not the point. The point is, are we all on the same page? Because if we're all working together and creating this sense of unity and equality, then it doesn't matter what's going on behind the scenes. We all have a better negotiating position to shape reality the way that we want. So you shouldn't be asking, is this true or not, when that starts to happen. You should be asking, what are you trying to get away with that you don't want to say out loud? Watch the clip again.
Scale of 1 to 10. So let's do that.
10.
Go ahead.
10.
A fat 10.
10.
Billy Ray.
I feel like I'm a 6.7.
Dude, why the you ever say something like that?
Physically or over?
So when you hear people start to say things that are obviously not true, don't use logic. Just ask yourself, what's really going on here?
알파걸이 모두가 아름답고 완벽하다, 우리는 모두 평등하다 라고 말할 때 사실 그건 진심이라기보다 자신이 다른 여성들에게 배제당하지 않기 위해서 그렇게 말하는 거라는 게 진짜 아직도 충격적이네요. 겉으로는 모두 평등하다고 하지만 다들 실제 서열을 알고 있고 그걸 조용히 유지하고 있는 거죠. 또 중상위 여자가 하위 여자에게 10점이라는 것도 겉보기엔 칭찬이지만 실제로는 상대를 자기 아래에 묶어두려는 통제 방식이라는 것도 끔찍하네요. 너 더 이상 올라오지 마 이거잖아요. 사실 이러한 행동들을 여자가 의식적으로 하고 있는지는 모르겠어요. 아마 의식적으로 하고 있다면 정말 무서운 사람들이지만 아마 무의식적으로 작동한다고 보는 게 맞는 것 같아요. 제 개인적인 입장으로는. 요약하자면 여성들은 지위를 추구하지만 직접적인 경쟁은 피한다고 볼 수 있습니다. 또 겉으로는 모두가 평등하고 아름답다고 말하면서 실제로는 서열과 힘의 차이를 교묘하게 유지하려고 하죠. 그리고 칭찬과 협력의 언어를 통해 상대방의 성장을 묶어두기도 하고 자신은 위험에 노출되지 않으려 하죠. 즉 이런 현상은 겉으로는 평등을 말하지만 보이지 않는 위계질서가 작동하는 아주 정교한 게임이라고 볼 수 있다는 겁니다.